I believe we're rolling.
Hi, I'm Andy Kindler, and you're watching Totally Random Mouth Noise. Don't you know what you're watching? Why would it be that you'd be watching something you weren't aware of the title of? Do you just randomly watch TV? Maybe that should be the name of the show. Totally Randomly Watchingly. Watchingly Lily. I'm Lily Lulu, and you're watching Lickety Lackety Lily.
You're watching Totally Random Mouth Noise this week. I'm your host, Patrick Maliha, and with me is comedy bad boy and rebel...
Bad boy.
Andy Kindler.
Bad boy.
Bad boys. What you gonna do?
I'm in your face. I'm in your face, baby.
And now, Andy, what I love the most about you is a successful comedian, doing very well.
You've mixed up resumes.
But there's no airs about you, even down to your watch. Can we see this? Look at
this. This is a Casio. I will say this one thing. That Ray, well, I know, when I go on stage, let's not kid ourselves. I wear a lovely thin line swatch. I don't know if that will result in me getting a bucket of swatches when I get home. But this is the exact same watch that Ray Romano, TV star, uses. I bought this watch across the street from Caroline's Comedy Club. I bought the lower line version of the Casio. I had to return it because it didn't have a second hand.
Are you serious?
I'm serious.
Wow.
I thought everything had a stopwatch effect.
Wow.
And that's what I want. I want to know how long my set is. That's the basic thing.
And still to this day, you've been doing stand-up how long?
23 years. Can you believe that?
I can.
And I started when I was 2. I started back in the 80s when before they even had jokes.
Back when it was just stand-up premise clubs.
Just observations. We would go, boy, is it hot today.
You go, what's the deal?
What is the deal? Why do they call them sidewalks? You walk on them. You don't walk off the side of them. See, we were very confused. And we all sounded like Seinfeld, and we didn't know why.
So now you talked about Ray Romano. You, of course, been recurring character.
That was my way of you getting into that exciting portion of my life.
That's right. Ray Romano, very successful comic. Now, did you know Ray beforehand? How does somebody of Andy Kindler's
non-stature
ilk?
Well, here's what happened. I did the Young Comedian special with Ray Romano.
Nice.
That is an interesting aside.
Tell us about that. Well, I want to hear that story.
I want to hear you tell me about the story.
You know, that's interesting that you say that because the way you did the Ray thing, because there was an episode of Raymond where I was supposed to do an impression of Raymond. Where I go, I couldn't do it. What are you doing? But I couldn't do it, so they had to switch it to the other character to do it because I couldn't do a good Ray Romano. I can't do somehow. I do the guy from The Wizard of Oz, which is
The Wizard of Oz?
You killed her. She's dead. Long live Dorothy.
So you have a very narrow...
Limited. I'm not so much a mimic. I don't get the voice, really. I don't get the character of it. Nor anything else. I do a Jewish person. I can do a Jewish person. And Zay, how are you enjoying comedy? So anyway, back to that incredibly hilarious Young Comedian special anecdote. They've been running it recently. And then, Ray Romano was on it, hosted by Dana Carvey.
Wow.
And this is what we all did. We all counted on our fingers. And then and I'm on the phone with my union to find out about the residual, and I'm thinking to myself, I bet Dana Carvey's not on the phone concerned about his $300.
You know what? I bet you Dana is.
I don't think so.
Dana's on the phone. He's going, is Mike there? Come on, let's do another movie. Wayne's World 4 or 3. If we want to see more of Andy Kindler, where do we go to look?
Yeah, that would be a good thing. The thing that has happened to me in the last couple of years has been a tremendous, exciting, career-changing, well, maybe I'm over-exaggerating, but a career high for me has been, I've been on the Late Show with David Letterman doing as a correspondent.
Nice.
So I've done field pieces for them. I went to the Super Bowl. I
remember that. That's right. Yeah.
I went to the opening of the Playboy Club in Las Vegas. Hello! Remember when Hello was big? Hello!
How does your wife feel about something like that? What does she say?
Not crazy about it. The first time I was at the Graham Bell, answered the phone and went, hello!
And
Is Alexander Graham Bell jokes not big anymore? No.
Alexander Graham Bell, they're okay. It's more Facebook now.
My wife was with me at the opening Playboy Club, so she was fine with it.
Really?
She was fine with it.
And what? How did your wife feel about being at the Playboy Mansion?
Well, when I made her put the outfit on, she wasn't happy with the with the bunny ears. When do I put the outfit on? What are we both Rickles all of a sudden? No, but I got to meet Hugh Hefner. He was actually a very interesting man, Hugh Hefner, as far as I'm concerned.
Did he know you? Did you have to
say big fan? You don't know what it is to be me and to come into Vancouver and come out to the area where the people are holding up signs and a whole line of people looking past you to see if there might be somebody coming. You don't know what it's like. You don't know what it's like. I could have been big like these people that you've been interviewing today, but I chose to keep under the radar so I can do my thing.
So you can enjoy your anonymity, so that you can...
Lack of health insurance.
That's right.
Yeah.
So that when you're buying porno, people don't question it. It's not all over the TMZ. It's not
exactly.
Perez Hilton doesn't.
I can engage in all kinds of strange fetishes under the radar.
That's right. How many
fetishes?
I was going to say, how many fetishes?
Okay.
How many fetishes
fit into a...
does Andy Kindler have?
Okay, well, I have the... I'm going to be totally honest with you. During sex, I like to speak in Latin. So my wife will hear ergo sum sometimes. E pluribus unum.
Habeas corpus, present the body.
Right. He knows more. He could flesh out this joke better than me. Then I have another fetish, which is making sure the door of my house is locked. But I don't think these are fetishes. Some of these things are obsessive compulsive disorders. I have no fetishes. I am asexual. I am a Ken doll. I have no body parts, no genitalia to speak of. Boom. I do actually have a Cialis bit now after all these years. I'm doing. People have said to me, Andy, why don't you do more sexual dysfunction humor and more comedy about commercials, because that area hasn't been touched.
To which you say.
So it's because they had that commercial for Cialis. They go, if the erection lasts longer than 4 hours, call your doctor. See, at 3 hours, I'd start to make some plans. First of all, at 3 hours, I call all my friends from high school. I tell them, you can kiss my ass. Then I start canceling some things. I cancel my swim class. Cancel the book club. I didn't know Moby Dick was about a whale. I got very excited about it. Cancel my trip to the museum. That guy really likes Miro. Come on. If you have to enjoy genital humor, which all the kids like today, the alternative comics. When I started out,
alternative comics.
That's the thing.
You have to be alternative to enjoy.
That's the thing. You don't know what's going on in the States now. In the States, down the lower 48. Besides the fact that George W. Bush has a new campaign. You've heard of his new campaign? Return on Success.
Return on Success. Is that
you like it?
Is that an actual term?
I think that's what he said during his last robotic. Well, you elected some conservative guy up here or something.
Stephen Harper, we elected.
Yeah. What was that all about? Wasn't Vancouver, right?
No. Vancouver is not a conservative town.
No.
Stephen Harper, our prime minister, who's a lovely man. Please, I don't wish to be audited.
Yeah, but your conservative people are like our liberal people almost, right?
A Canadian conservative would be like, yes, gays can marry, but let's not make the ceremony outrageous.
So, in other words, a conservative Canadian is against the flamboyantly gay.
Yes.
So they're like me. They don't like the show Queer Eye.
That's you don't like.
I don't think because you sleep with men you have to talk like, let's go to the shoe store. When did the gay people decide that would be the route to go?
67.
Hello?
1967.
Right.
It was during the race riots in Detroit. So, Andy, I have to ask you, Have you ever bombed in Canada? Has Andy Kindler ever bombed?
Well,
in
years
Canada?
ago, in the late '80s, when a lot of the people who are watching this right now were either not born, or were two, or my demographic who are retired and living in condos, I used to play the Yuck Yucks tours, and
Right.
I would often bomb.
Oh,
Often
congratulations!
bomb.
Good for you.
Yeah, I would do a one-nighter in Moose Jaw.
I've done the Moose Jaw run. Yeah.
I did Swift Current.
Which is neither. Thank you. The joke was written when the town was named.
I wish I had that line. And I did that. But it was weird though but also it was in the late '80s, and I had only been doing comedy for a few years, so I didn't exude the bravado and the over-the-top confidence that you see from me now.
So what was it, despite all those bombings, what was it that kept you going? What made you say, I'm good at this, I'm going to keep going?
I think there's two parts to that answer. The one answer is that you start to sound egotistical if you go, I don't like the comics who are filled with, I'm not in the Dane Cook school of comedy.
What?
Which is the...
I had no idea.
Yeah, this is the overly where you win the crowd over with enthusiasm and you're only happy when you kill. I don't believe that I believe that you have to find who your audience is, and then so you just keep doing what you believe is funny. But then I don't like to say, hey, I'm funny, because but I do believe I wouldn't be doing this if I didn't believe I was funny. I know, and I come from a funny family. I'm Jewish. I think I'm genetically humorous. Predisposed to humor. But I shy away from proclamations of I'm funny. I'm gonna make you people laugh tonight. It's like saying to someone that you have a humorous anecdote.
Yeah, but you have to have a certain ego.
Yes.
To get on the stage.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I do look at myself in the mirror 3 to 4 hours a day, and I do the.
Who doesn't?
Who doesn't? And I do the my version of the secret, the comedy secret.
Which is?
I am hilarious. Into the mirror. I am hilarious. I am funny. I'm going to say funny things tonight, and that's the main thing that I counsel new comedians. A lot of people say stage time, forget that. Just positive affirmations to yourself. Just visualize the audience laughing, and then everything takes care of itself.
Oh. Now I want to get back to something you said earlier. So you're Jewish?
This is not something that most people know about me. It's not something I like to play up, except when my set goes south. Yes, I am of the Hebraic persuasion.
So now, we were talking about this guy, the man with this and that.
I'm buffed and chiseled.
You're buffed?
Let me try my Jackie Mason again.
Yeah.
And this man, he says to myself, I said, this man, he doesn't know he's a book, and then he said that, and the Christian man, he doesn't know the Jewish man. Still not getting better.
All right. We'll have a Mason off. That's what we'll do. We'll have head-to-head Jackie Mason.
Every year I compete in a Mason jar contest, which is
always awkward.
It's
weird.
really good. My specialty is blueberry preserves.
Hello.
Yeah. So you were saying I am Jewish.
Yeah, you're Jewish. Now Jackie Mason, he was doing a show and he found out that his opener was Palestinian, and so he said he canceled the opener. He said, I can't do the show. He said, I can't do the show. He's Palestinian. How could I possibly have him on?
How could I possibly have him?
Now, do you feel the same way? Would that be if you found out like your opening act is Palestinian, would you cancel the act?
Well,
or how do you feel about
Well,
something like
I
that?
thought that was a rumor that it never really happened. Did it really happen? Is that an actual
From what I
case?
understand, if we will go with it was a rumor, to
I
help
thought it
out
was
Jackie, we'll say it was a rumor.
Well, you see,
but regardless, how would you feel?
Well, no, because I don't believe that there's any. Most Jewish people, or at least half of Jewish people, believe that the people who lived on the West Bank, in the occupied areas, are being, we're living in horrible conditions. So many Jews don't have anything inherently against people who are Arabic just because of the fact they're Arabic. But I will say Jackie Mason's become very much more right-wingy as he's going along.
And
Why do you
think
didn't used
that
to be.
is?
I don't know. It's off-putting.
Dennis Miller, same
Yeah,
thing. as
Dennis
happened
Miller.
with
Well,
Dennis?
Jackie Mason is funnier than Dennis Miller. Dennis Miller to me is just a total suck up to the right wing. He just totally either 9/11 made him scared that he would lose his own personal property,
That's very interesting.
and so
Yeah.
he got frightened. But he never seemed like a particularly pleasant person to me. So he just turned on a dime and became the most right wing. I'd like to say he did it for his career, but I don't know what his motivation. A lot of times I try to figure out why are these people so screwed up, but I can't. I don't know. You never know. You go, oh, they're doing it just because they think there's money in it. No, that's probably not it. But I can't think of one funny right wing humorist. I think by nature, comedy is supposed to be going against the status quo and against power structures. Mm-hmm. So how you could be, maybe in Hitler's Germany there were very funny fascist comedians who were hilarious in their anti-Semitic rants. I can't think of it. P.J. O'Rourke, they say, is funny. You know who he is?
Yes.
Funny?
Not my cup of tea.
But I can't think of, there's sometimes people who are, say, would fit in the category of politically incorrect who could be funny. I'll give you an example of somebody. Nick DiPaolo is very funny to me.
Yeah.
Okay. But I don't see him as a right-wing guy.
I don't think you could classify Nick as a right-wing guy, only because in the example of somebody such as Dennis Miller, who's a well-known right-wing comic now, in that he's somebody who will go on Fox News and he will agree with what Bill O'Reilly
exactly,
and he will be the support system. Whereas I don't imagine, and you would know this better than I do, but I don't imagine Nick DiPaolo would be somebody who would do such a thing.
Well, also Nick DiPaolo's modus operandi, if that's a word, is to be funny, and he's a funny guy. So he's basically just a guy who just is just like sickened by anything that's popular. In other words, like he'd be against the left wing if it's popular. So he'd be against the politically correct thing.
I know. We're still waiting on Bob Odenkirk. I have no idea if he's even in town yet.
Bob Odenkirk is going to be here?
He's supposed to be.
That'd be great. Now that's a funny man. That's a funny right-wing comic. I love Bob Odenkirk. Bob Odenkirk is maybe... I have in my top list of like 5 comics, 3 or 4. He's on my. There's nobody funnier than him as a stand-up.
Yeah. So okay. And Andy Kindler's top 5.
Well, you got Paul F. Tompkins.
Brilliant.
You got Zach Galifianakis.
Brilliant as well.
Who's brilliant.
Kanye West loves him.
Kanye West is very funny.
Yeah.
Did I say Paul F. Tompkins?
Yeah. Paul F.
Zach. And I always leave out people who I love. Todd Barry's very funny. And see, I start making lists and I realize it can't be 5 people. But Bob Odenkirk, he doesn't know, he literally doesn't realize, he knows he's funny, but he doesn't
realize how funny he is.
But maybe he does, but I think he doesn't, it's not uppermost in his mind to do stand-up. And I think I just love him. I love him. So if you get a chance to see him, cancel your tickets to see me and see Bob Odenkirk instead.
All right. Well, in closing, Andy, what's one thing? We don't have to close if you don't want to.
No, but wait, did we wrap up the? Oh yeah, the right wing. Nick DiPaolo's funny. And if anybody can think of anybody else on the right wing who's funny, and don't give me Andrew Dice Clay. No, that's not the right wing.
He's so right wing.
So anyway, in closing.
Well, but we don't have to close. I don't want to monopolize your time. That's it. I don't want. Because you're dressed obviously with somewhere to go.
I knew this is gonna come back to bite me in the ass.
Bang.
Oh yeah, my thing is that Dennis Miller, like 6 months from now, is going to be doing the Stormy Minute on the Weather Channel. And now for the Stormy Minute, we go to Dennis Miller. Yeah, we got a cold front coming through Chicago like Crime and Punishment by Kalashnikov. Who wrote Crime and Punishment? Dostoevsky's Kalashnikov. It's like Dostoevsky's. That's the other thing you should buy about Dennis Miller. Is like he knows the references, but he doesn't really know.
Are you going by Crime and Punishment or Crime and Punished by Foucault? philosopher.
Oh, Mr. One Topper. Well, I could have been going with Crimes and Misdemeanors by Woody Allen.
All the one in the same.
Or CSI, Crime Scene Investigation.
No, that's one. Sorry, I don't watch television.
That's Zach's.
Yeah, Zach.
Zach's. I'll do one of Zach. If you don't know the Zach Galifianakis, is the pretentious illiterate. I thought I told you, I don't read.
So, what's the one thing Andy Kindler has not done yet that he would love to accomplish? You've got a time limit. Things are winding down. They say, Andy, one final thing you can do.
Well, I would say that really, if you think about things and you separate, money and financial things, there really is nothing better than stand-up. So I'd say my highest moments are doing stand-up. But I'd love to write and create my own movie. Everyone says that though.
So why don't you? What's holding Andy back?
Well, like I said to my brother, my brother's an investment banker. So I said to him, Rob, you're an investment banker. Why don't you invest in one of my movie ideas? And he goes, well, do you have any movie ideas? He goes, I don't know. Trick question. Sure. I gotta have an idea. Can't you give me a couple $100,000 just to get the juices running? What I'd like to create is, I'm always trying to create some kind of autobiography. What I'd like to do is like a show like Curb Your Enthusiasm, but it was more where it was really about the person's. I'm very influenced by like Woody Allen and Albert Brooks and those type of people, where it really is kind of like their lives very thinly disguised. What bugs me about shows like Curb is they start out, it could be really funny, and then it goes into these weird contrivances that just leave me cold. So I'd love to do something along the lines of the British Office, not the American Office, and Larry.
Steve's crying right now.
Not the American Office, and Larry Sanders. I love those kind of things that are like, I love stuff that's as real, where the comedy comes out of real situations.
Right. Thank you very much. And this has been Totally Random Mouth Noise. I'm Patrick Maliha, and this week my guest has been Andy Kindler.
Guest host.
Andy.
Guest
always
co-host.
a pleasure.
Thank you
Always
very
a
much.
pleasure.